Volcanics are a weird bunch of cards. None of them seem to synergize with anything except Blaze Accelerator and the Breath of New Life they were given in Reload, leading to a quick play Raigeki on the opponent's turn with Scattershot, or Great Advantage with Shell. It's a control deck that grinds out wins through help with the best trap cards in the game, usually Trap Holes if we're talking about their prime in 2015 with Trap Tricks being staples and Royal Firestorm Guards just being a pot of avarice on legs. So what does it do in the anime? Well, they don't have Reload, so nothing. But if we take some of their cards from the anime and put them into the trading card game, we get some weird but fun and quirky new options, at least. From the multi-MST in Volcanic Cyclone that draws cards, to Volcanic Force to help push out Doomfire and Volcanic Curse for quick and sudden bursts of attack. There's even a card that helps in ripping out monsters from the hand. And then there's Volcanic Ash? Okay, I'll probably never get the chance to talk about this thing again, so I just want to make sure that everyone knows this card is terrible. The other cards are pretty good, makes Volcanics worthy of the list, but switch a monster from attack to defense? It's got cool art, at least. Thanks, Volcanic Ash. Just in general, it's a pretty good set of cards. And honestly, I'd like to see Volcanic Doomfire in a bit more decks. I mean, I just love the weird, wonky boss monsters this time. That's why I love Quakimerus and Duel Links for just being able to summon Big Dragon and it just kind of works. So come on, man. Let's get Valifar and Quakimerus to get some support. Let's get Doomfire to be played in Volcanics. That would just be sick. I want that. Please, Konami. Don't retrain them. Just make them really easy to summon. From a deck that desperately needed support and could still use some in all honesty, into the deck that does not need support under any circumstances and should never get any more. We have Performapals. I could throw in Perform Mages as well, but honestly the three cards that matter are all pals and not pals with us, probably. Such powerful upgrades introduce the trio of circus animals known as Gee Turtle, Monkey Board, and Lizard Draw, as well as Laugh Maker, 5 Rainbow Magician, aka Mystic Mine on every single drug. The best part about this is that these are just the top-end support. There's so much I can't possibly talk about them all. I could talk about all of them in a separate series if anyone is interested in that idea. I'll need a name for my version of Archetype Archive, I guess, but the poll is up so you can vote if you wanted Formapals for a sub-goal or something. Granted, I do have a 20k sub-special coming up in about 10 seconds, so we'll talk about that when we get there. This one's going to be a little long-winded, so long-winded actually, that I have an announcement to make. For my 20k sub-special, I will be talking about every single number monster. Numbers are a dime a dozen here, but trust me when I say I will have a series ranking every single one of them. I will lump C incarnations with their own original numbers to make the list at least somewhat manageable, but I will still cover all of them in increments of 10 or so, depending. You guys excited? Be sure to share my channel around to anyone who might care, and we will get there soon. But for now, let's talk about a few numbers better in the anime I haven't brought up before. Number 77, the Seven Sins, with many S's in its name that just makes it really hard to record for it, is a detach 1 Raigeki that puts everything popped onto himself as materials with the means of stopping being banished. Chaos number 107 Neo Galaxy Eyes Tachyon Dragon is mass negations on a detach plus the triple attacking. And there's even anime number 88 Gimmick Puppet of Leo that lets you detach 1 material and win the duel once all its materials are detached by this effect. There's even a broken card called Numbers of Vile that just summons Leo using a material that is just Leo. You detach, you win. Wow. And that's just a taste of what there is to talk about. I want to save a bunch of the details for the actual 20k sub special in and of itself, so just be sure to share my channel around and get the word out there so that we can get to 20k, and you can see, well, numbers being numbers. We talked about Trap Tricks a little earlier, but another great control staple in that time were the hands! Fire Hand and Ice Hand are wonderful cards that pop consistently, and they're wonderful, but no one talks about the other hands, like Prominence for helping Xyz plays and the like. The anime has a bunch of hand support, since Garag played them and used them to great effect, especially with some of his new cards. You get things like Erosion Hand Forest for standby phase burning, Hand Block to stop effect damage while you control a hand, which is pretty neat, Hand Power that can double the attack of a monster you control by banishing a hand, which is an amazing amount of attack gain, Hand Vice for the purpose of a Magic Cylinder effect, as well as Damaging Hand that can burn for 300 per card in their hand. That's better than Secret Barrel, doesn't count the board, but it's still a lot of damage. Finally is anime number 106, Giant Hand, with its quick effect breakthrough skill Negate that lingers as long as hand remains on the field and pops the monster if it attacks with added burn. Wow, that is some major power. Guess that's how you make the opponent catch these hands. Alright, let's move on. Mech Lords are a complete motherfucking disgrace in real life, but boy howdy are they fun in the anime, given how you get to have fun blowing up eggs to swarm the board in pieces you can upgrade for effects. In real life, you have terrible draw power, awful swarming, and the most anti-relevant playstyle this side of trying to play Steel Swarms and anything other than Duel Links in real life. But the anime cards help every single one of these factors. For draw power, you get the anime version of Boon of the Mechlord Emperors, which draws 1 per Mechlord you control, and Aurora Draw to help you draw 2 when in a state of top decking. You get free negations in Convert Ghost, a Scrap Iron Scarecrow for cards and effects while you control an Emperor, Infinity Force for a Trap Raigeki if you take damage with an Emperor up, as well as cards like Mechlord Emperor Creation to banish Wise Core, Grand Core, and Sky Core to get a free Astro Mechanical from hand or deck that gives it Destruction Protection. Hell, this is also Anime Chaos Infinity that gives you 2 free Mechlords for the army monsters to overlay. Just in general, this is a plentiful set of cards that works towards redeeming one of the worst archetypes in history. Back to where the full-on series started, we have Elemental Heroes! Heroes in general have had many storied sets under their collective umbrella, from the competitive Destiny heroes to fun-as-hell Vision heroes, to annoying-to-face masked heroes, and hell, even the once bland evil heroes, given those are getting new support recently. Thank you, Konami, for making them so far solid. We actually have Captain Gold given the best artwork in the game right now. And, let's also keep in mind, it searches Dark Fusion and Dark Calling, so why not? However, we are here to talk about the original heroes, and of this setup, the E-Heroes. Now, E-Heroes have tons of anime-exclusive support that ranges in general, with some being made better IRL, but others remaining just as powerful. You got monsters like E-Hero Flash that can recycle spells and traps from your graveyard when sent there, which is busted as sin. BUBBLEMAN, who becomes a better draw card thanks to not needing to have the hand be dumped on top of an empty field to actually have you draw cards. So you can just normal summon Pot of Greed. And some fusions like E-Hero Core with doubling its attack and card popping, and E-Hero Inferno with a Spell Snatch effect from either graveyard. Finally, the meat of the cards are the spells with cards like Construct Element that allows for mass changing levels of BS on your hero fusions, Heat Crystals that turns any Fire E-Hero generic for the decks, and just in general, so much good stuff that it's impossible to talk about in one video. Dynasty of the Useful on E-Heroes. No, that's gonna take like 3 years. I don't want to do that. I'll make that Patreon goal maybe. I don't know. Aw, hell yeah, we're doubling down on the bad IRL archetypes with solid power in the anime. And this one is all thanks to the power of faith and, well, seeing into the future, basically. Arcana Force was nothing in the real-life game, stemming from the need of coin flips and vast shifts between small benefits over major downsides, with the only way to cheat it being Light Barrier. Hell, when Sartorius was added to Duel Links, they made him a skill that made all Arcana Force monsters roll heads on the effect so that they would actually make them somewhat fun to mess around with and not just go, come on, get heads, come on, get heads. No, Chariot, why are you going to the other side of the field? Don't do that, no, don't attack, no! As for the anime support, well, Sartorius Kumar has a lot up its sleeves. To start, he has anime-only cards that benefit the deck in some way. From monsters like Arcana Force 15 the Fiend, with a popping effect on attack or a dark hole on attack, the Hanged Man for End Phase Volcasaurus, try to make it on one side of the field, not the other, and 8, the Strength, who can yoink monsters away via the Heads effect. Aside from that is the Magician's Scales, a spell that lets you tribute an Arcana Force to search any spell from the deck. That's just power right there. Plus you get cards like ARCANATIC DOOMSCYTHE, for an Arcana Force Foolish Burial that lets you burn the opponent if their monster goes away by battle, even Reverse Reborn, which is an archetype Premature Burial that gives it the Tails effect since a handful, like the Hanged Man, like the Tails effect. You can even get Anime Light Barrier, which is a skill drain for everything not an Arcana Force, and the power to choose the result. You also get the 3 Lord cards that lets you foolish away Arcana Forces to set up tributes to make Light Ruler, or Dark Ruler if you're feeling spicy, which is a solid monster, all things considered. Yeah, Arcana Forces are actually pretty fun in the anime. I mean, you'd have to build them in a different way from Sartorius, considering his whole ideology was, I'm just gonna give the Fool to my opponent, and that allows me to just choose coin flips. You can't really do that in the real-life game. That's illegal. So, yeah, you're gonna have to find a different way. But hey, Cup of Aces, Pot of Greed. And now we come to the bane of this list, the Blackwings. Just a massive archetype without even including the anime cards, but here we go. We have a normal monster named Jewel, and trust me, I know something about that. Except I use a mod because I'm not a bitch. Zephyros the Elite is not a once per duel effect, it just pops itself if you ever set a card on the field, so you can just bounce whatever you want, leading to FTKs more than likely. CALIMA the Haze is a great way to swarm more monsters, plus its effect lets you get back full Armor Master from Graveyard, who is immune to the banish. As well as Steam the Cloak, who is not once per duel, with the added bonus of banishing monsters if a Steam token is on the field when their attack goes to 0. Gladius becomes another basic Blackwing, Raikiri becoming absolutely nuts as a synchro for including himself in the number of pops you can make. Graham the Shining Star becoming actually a solid level 5 with once per turn summon a Blackwing on top of cards for Black Feathers being a Blackwing form of Destiny Draw. Black Feather Reversal, which we covered in the top 10 best archetype support in the anime, as well as Black Boost, for being a draw 2 if you got 2 or more birds and a Black Feather Cursed Guard for protection. Just in general, a powerful collection that is a mixed bag, but has the powerful cards to make it even better than it is in real life. Let's go from meme to rogue into tier something. Come on, guys. Hello, darkness, my old friend. Time to rumble with you again, with our number 2 entry, Gladiator Beast FTK. That's really all I need to say, given you have Anime Tamer Editor and Diabate giving out loops for days on top of one of the longest card texts ever, that it has a goddamn line going through the card to separate effects, with added upgraded form that skill drains the board. On top of that is a flurry of trap cards like, wait, is it seriously called Thumbs Down? That's amazing. Thumbs Down for burn if a card is destroyed, Gladiator Beast Valor to protect your non-Glad Beast on field, as well as Medusa Shield for once per turn permanent negative effects and card destruction protection. Just in general, you got a powerful setup of cards that make any Glad Beast player enjoy all the good things of this deck and beyond. Go forth, my young Spartans, to battle! The final set may not look like much, but when am I ever going to get the chance to talk about these in a collective again? Jars are containers used to store things in the old days of not having, dresser drawers. You used jars, and you could like show off, like a frog? Like a frog that that is dead, and you want to show him off and just preserve him. You can also use it for pickles. That's what jars can mainly be used for. But let's be real, jars in the anime are just as crazy as they are in real life. And considering in real life we have Morphing Jar number 2, Cyber Jar, and oh I don't know, Reset the Game button? That's saying a lot. The best one of these is Level Jar, who was covered intensively in the past on this channel. But to summarize, you ever want your opponent to draw 40 cards? Yeah, just deck them out. It's hilarious. Just do it. And then there's Dragon Capture Jar and Dragon Piper to yoink dragons into the jar, which is a monster for some reason, and then put them onto your field. Imagine going up against Blue Eyes and yoinking their play enablers for yourself. Then you got Necro Jar for immense mills, just for the sake of memes. Just in general, a great set of monsters that gives Empty Jar a whole other avenue of annoyance.